Hey, hi guys. In today's lesson, we're going to see the plural form in Spanish. So let's start. All right, so let's see first the definite article the, okay? In English, we're going to use a definite article the when we're talking about singular, but also when we're talking about plural, okay? If we're talking about singular, we're going to say the dog, okay? We're only talking about one dog, singular. But if we want to talk about plural, then we're going to say the dogs, okay? Referring to a group of dogs, to many dogs, okay? So in English, we're going to use the definite article the for singular and for plural. In Spanish, it's going to be different, okay? In Spanish, for singular, we're going to use the definite articles la and el. Okay, when we're going to use a definite article la, when we're talking about female gender, okay? When the nouns are having a female gender, for example, the moon. Moon, it's a noun having a female gender. So if it's having a female gender, then we have to use the definite article in Spanish, la. La luna, the moon, la luna, okay? Because it's having a female gender. Another example would be the girl. The girl in Spanish means la chica or la niña, okay? La chica, la niña. We're talking about female again, so we're going to use la, the definite article, la. Now, if we're talking about male gender, we're going to use the definite article el. For example, the boy. That means el niño. El niño, the boy. Because it's having a male gender. Another example would be the sun. Okay, the sun. Sun, it's having a male gender. It's a noun having a male gender. So we have to use the definite article el in Spanish, okay? El sol. El sol. The sun. Okay, so remember, if you are having a female gender, you have to use in the singular form the definite article la. And if you're having a male gender, then you have to use the definite article el, okay, in the singular form. Now, in the plural form of la would be las, okay? For example, the girls. The meaning of the girls in Spanish is las chicas, okay? Las chicas. It's having a female gender in plural form, so we're going to say las. We're going to use the definite article in the plural form, las. Another example would be the ideas, okay? The ideas in Spanish means las ideas. We're talking about ideas. Ideas, it's a noun having a female gender. That's why we're using las, okay? Because it's having a female gender and it's in plural form. So we're going to say las ideas. Now, if we're talking about male gender in plural form, we're going to use the definite article los. For example, the teachers. If we're talking about male teachers or male and females mixed, then we're going to say the teachers. In Spanish, los maestros, okay? Los maestros. Another example would be the cars, okay? Cars, it's having a male gender. So we're going to say los carros, the cars, los carros. So in the singular form, if you're talking about female gender, you're going to use la, okay? And in the plural form, las. If you're having in the singular form a male gender, then you're going to use el, and in the plural form, los. Now let's go to the indefinite articles, okay? The indefinite articles in English are a, an, okay? Remember that we're going to use the indefinite articles when we're talking about things that we are not knowing well, okay? Or when we're talking about general things. And now the plural form in English would be some, okay? Some students, some schools. And now let's see how we're going to use the indefinite articles in Spanish, okay? For the singular form, in English, we're going to use a, an. In Spanish, we're going to use una, un, okay? When we're talking about female gender, we're going to use the indefinite article una. Una, for example, an idea, una idea, una idea. Another example would be a girl, una chica, una chica. Okay? That's if we're talking about a female gender. Now, if we're talking about a male gender, then we're going to use the indefinite article un. Okay, for example, a bus. That means in Spanish, un camión, a bus, un camión. Another example would be a student. If we're talking about a male student, then we're going to say in Spanish, un estudiante, okay? If we're talking about a female student, then we're going to say una estudiante because we're talking about a female. So for female, we're going to use una. For male, we're going to use un, okay? Now in the plural form, una is going to change to unas, okay? For example, some girls, okay? The meaning of unas, unos in English is some, okay? So if we want to say some girls, then we have to say in Spanish, unas chicas, unas chicas. Another example would be some bottles, and the meaning of that is unas botellas, some bottles, okay? Unas botellas. Botellas, it's having a female gender, so that's why we have to use the indefinite article unas in the plural form. Now, when talking about unos, okay, unos, the meaning is some. Then we're going to use it when we're talking about male gender in plural form, okay? For example, some boys, unos chicos, unos niños, okay? All right, now another example would be some videos, okay? Unos videos, some videos. Okay, videos, it's having a male gender, it's plural, so we have to use the indefinite article unos in Spanish. All right, so now let's check some rules we have to apply to create the plural form of our nouns, okay? So let's go to rule number 1. If your noun finishes with a vowel, what you have to do is just add an s to create the plural form, okay? Now let's see some examples so you will understand it better. We're having this noun, mug, okay? The meaning of mug in Spanish is taza, taza, okay? The plural form of taza, mug, is tazas, mugs, tazas, okay? In Spanish. So you just have to add an S because your noun is finishing with a vowel. Now let's see with a definite article, the, in the singular form, our noun is going to be in Spanish, la taza. Okay, remember we're talking about a noun having a female gender. So because it's having a female gender, then you have to put the definite article in female form, okay? So we have la taza, okay? Now in the plural form, to create a plural form in English, you're going to do the same exactly. The mugs, okay? You're going to use the for the plural form. But in Spanish, you have to use a definite article for the plural form, las, okay? The plural form of la is las. And then after that, your noun in the plural form, okay? So the plural form of taza is tazas. And the plural form using the definite article would be las tazas, okay? Las tazas, las tazas. Now using the indefinite article, a and some, okay? In the singular form, we're going to say una taza, a mug, una taza, okay? A mug in English. We're talking about, again, female gender, okay? So that's why we are using the indefinite article una, okay? For female. Remember, for male would be un. But in this case, we're having female, so we're going to use una taza, okay? And the plural form would be unas tazas, okay? The plural form of una, it's unas. And the plural form of taza, it's tazas. So the plural form using the indefinite article would be unas tazas. Unas tazas. Now we have this noun, student. Okay, the meaning of student in Spanish is estudiante. Estudiante. Okay, this is a singular form. And the plural form would be students. Okay, estudiantes. Estudiantes. Now let's see how we're going to say the student using the definite article the in singular and plural in Spanish. Okay, we're going to say the student, el estudiante. If we're talking about a male student, we're going to use the definite article el estudiante. If we were talking about a female student, then we're going to use the definite article la estudiante, okay? If we're talking about a female student, la estudiante. But in this case, we're using el estudiante male form, okay? El. And in the plural form, if we're talking about boys and girls mixed or only a group of boys, then we're going to use the definite article los, okay? Los estudiantes, okay? Now, if we had a group of only female students, then we have to say las estudiantes, okay? For female, only a female group. Las estudiantes, okay? But we have a male group, so we have to say los estudiantes. And now using the indefinite article, una. Then we have to say un estudiante if we're talking about a male student. Un estudiante. Now, if we're talking about a female student, then we have to say una estudiante. Una estudiante, okay? Una female. Now, in the plural form, if you're talking about a group of male and female together, or only a group of boys, then you have to say unos estudiantes, okay? Some students. Unos estudiantes. Now let's go to the next noun we have, okay? We have book, okay? In Spanish, libro. Libro. Libro, okay? This is a singular form, and the plural form of libro would be libros. Libros, okay? Now, if we're using the definite article the in English, the book, okay? In Spanish, we're going to say in singular, el libro, okay? Libro has a male gender, okay? So if it's having a male gender, remember you have to use a definite article in the singular form, el libro, okay? Now in the plural form, you're going to say los libros, okay? It's having a male gender in plural, okay? So the plural form of el would be los libros, okay? Using the definite article. Now, if we want to use the indefinite article a, an, some, okay, we have to use the indefinite article un, okay, because we are using a noun having a male gender, okay? So it has to be a book, okay? That means in Spanish, un libro, a book, okay? And in the plural form, we have to say some books, okay? That means unos libros in Spanish, okay? Some books. All right, now let's go to rule number 2, okay? If your noun finishes with a consonant, what you have to do is just add es, okay? Let's see some examples so you can understand it. Okay, we're having this noun, paper. Okay, in Spanish it means papel, papel, papel. Okay, this is a singular form, and the plural form, papeles. Okay, see, we are having a consonant, letter L. So after that, what we have to do to create a plural form, it's add es. Okay, so the plural form of papel would be papeles, papeles. Now, if we want to use a definite article, the, okay, in the singular form in English, we're going to say the paper, okay? The paper in Spanish means el papel, el papel, el papel, okay? And for creating the plural form, then we have to say los papeles, the papers. Now, with the indefinite article a, an, some in English, we have to say a paper, okay? And in Spanish, we're going to say un papel, okay? Using the indefinite article un, because paper is having a male gender, okay? And in the plural form, we're going to say Unos papeles. Some papers. Unos papeles. Unos papeles. Now the next noun we have is couch, okay? Sillón. Sillón. Okay, that means couch in singular. Now in the plural form, we have to say sillones in Spanish, okay? Couches means sillones. 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 Okay, it's finishing with a consonant, so we have to add es to create a plural form. Now, using the definite article the, we're going to say the couch, okay? In Spanish, el sillón. El sillón. Okay, sillón, it's having a male gender, so that's why we have to use the definite article el. Okay, and for the plural form, we have to say los sillones. Los sillones, okay? The plural form of el, it's los. Okay, sillones. Okay, it's finishing with consonant, so we just have to add es. And now we have the indefinite article a and some in the plural form. In the singular form in Spanish, we would say un sillón. Un sillón. Okay, that means a couch. A couch, un sillón. Okay, and in the plural form, then we have to say some couches. Okay, unos sillones in Spanish. Unos sillones. Unos sillones. Okay. It's having a male gender, so remember for male gender, indefinite article, un, singular form, unos, plural form, okay? If we would have a female gender, then we would use una, okay? And in the plural form, unas. But we're having male gender. Now we have this noun, cake, okay? The meaning of cake in Spanish is pastel. Pastel. Okay, this is a singular form, pastel, and the plural form of pastel, it's pasteles. Okay, that means cakes. Pasteles. Pasteles. Now, if we have the definite article, we're going to say the cake. Okay, the cake. El pastel. El pastel. Okay, because pastel, it's having a male gender. Now, in the plural form, we're going to say the cakes, okay? Los pasteles. Los pasteles, okay? The plural form of the definite article el in Spanish is los pasteles. And now with the indefinite article a, and, or some in plural. In the singular form, we're going to say a cake, okay? A cake means in Spanish un pastel. Un pastel, okay? Pastel, it's having a male gender, so we have to use the indefinite article un, okay? Now in the plural form, we have to say some cakes, okay? Some cakes means in Spanish unos pasteles. Unos pasteles, okay? Remember the plural form of un, the indefinite article un is unos. And now let's go to the third and the last rule, okay? We have, if your noun finishes with the letter Z, what you have to do is change the letter Z for a letter C and then add ES, okay? Let's see some examples so you will understand it better. Okay, we have pencil. Okay, the meaning of pencil in Spanish is lápiz. Lápiz. Okay, lápiz. It's finishing with letter Z. What you have to do is remove that letter and change it for a letter C and then add ES. Okay, so the plural form of lápiz would be lápices. Okay, lápices. Pencils, lápices. Now, if we use the definite article the in the singular form, we're going to say the pencil, okay? The pencil means in Spanish, el lápiz, el lápiz. And in the plural form, we're going to say the pencils, okay? The pencils means in Spanish, los lápices, okay? Lápiz, pencil, it's having a male gender, so that's why we're using the definite article el, and in the plural form, los. Now, if we're using the indefinite article a, an, singular, and plural some, then we have to say, for example, a pencil. A pencil means un lápiz in Spanish, okay? Un lápiz. Un lápiz. Okay? We're having again a male gender, so that's why we're using the indefinite article un, okay? If we would have a female gender, then we have to use una, okay? But it's a male gender, so we have to use un. And in the plural form would be some pencils, okay? That means unos lápices. Unos lápices. Unos lápices, okay? The plural form of un, it's unos. Now the next noun we have it's light, okay? Light in Spanish means luz, luz, okay? So remember, remove the letter Z and then put letter C and then add ES, okay? So the plural form of light, luz, in Spanish would be luces, luces, luces. And now, according to the definite article the in the singular form, we're going to say the light, okay? The light means la luz in Spanish, okay? Light, luz, it's having a female gender. That's why we have to use the definite article la, okay? In the plural form, we have to say the lights, okay? The plural form of la, it's las, okay? And the plural form of luz would be luces, okay? So the plural form would be las luces. Las luces according to the definite article, okay? And now according to the indefinite article in the singular form, we're going to say a light, okay? In Spanish, una luz, okay? It's having a female gender, so we have to use the indefinite article for female gender, una, okay? And the plural form of a light, una luz, would be unas luces, some lights, unas luces. Now we have judge, okay? Judge in Spanish means juez, 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 okay? And in the plural form, we have to say jueces, okay? Remember, when you see a letter Z, what you have to do is remove this letter, change it to letter C, and then add es. Okay, so the plural form of judge would be judges, jueces, jueces, jueces. Now with the definite article the, in the singular form, we have to say the judge. Okay, that means in Spanish, el juez, el juez. And in the plural form, we have to say the judges. In English, in Spanish, los jueces, los jueces. Okay, remember the plural form of el, los, the plural form of juez, jueces. Now, according to the indefinite article a, and in the singular form, some, in the plural form, we have to say a judge. Okay, a judge means un juez, un juez. And in the plural form, we're going to say some judges. That means unos jueces, unos jueces, unos jueces. Okay, judge, it's having a male gender. So that's why we're using un, and in the plural form, unos. So that would be all for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.